What's up guys, it's Lord Both here with another video, and with all the games that have came out over the past 2 months, it's easy to become more focused on the news of the new shiny game that just came around. That said, it's time that everyone come around and bow down before the king, that is Monster Hunter Wilds. Why do I say that? Well, and this comes to us from IGN, Monster Hunter Wilds breezes past 10 million copies sold. Capcom explains why it's done so incredibly well. Monster Hunter Wilds' phenomenal success shows no sign of slowing down. It's breezed past the 10 million sold mark, setting a new record for developer and publisher Capcom. That's a first month sales record for Capcom. No game in the company's history has sold more after a month. Wilds was already the fastest selling game in Capcom history after selling 8 million copies in just 3 days. So the first 8 million copies they sold in the first 3 days, the other 2 million they sold over the course of the month. Still, as you can see, record-setting numbers. What do they owe the success of the game to? Well, they attribute it to simultaneous release on all platforms, something they didn't do with previous titles. Which makes sense, you release the game on all platforms at once, you're gonna get a lot of your sales at once. And you get to strike while the iron is hot in terms of your game just being generally new instead of just new to a console. You don't lose out on any hype for it, really. They also introduced crossplay, so now you can play across all consoles and PC. Which is pretty important because this is a game that's being enjoyed by a lot of people who are friends together, joining each other's worlds and taking down gigantic monsters together. Additionally, the introduction of the new focus mode mechanic and the implementation of seamless movement between settlements and ecosystems have provided an even more immersive gaming experience. Essentially, players are moving from map to map pretty easily without enduring intensive load screens. For all intensive purposes, and what I played of this game was very little, basically the demos that came out that were, let's just say, unpolished. And from what I've seen of this game and its actual release, from streams that I've been able to catch, this Monster Hunter game, unlike previous entries, seems to be very, very approachable to normie gamers. Dare I say, from a more experienced gamer standpoint, it could be taken as simple or easy. This isn't the kind of game that you're going to have to grind out like a From Software. It's a game that normie gamers can pick up and enjoy a fun 30-minute adventure and then put down and walk away to go make dinner or something. And this kind of harkens back to a philosophy of mine, that in an age where gatekeeping is fairly important, I think, there's also been a growing movement of anti-normie gamers. A negative sentiment against people who don't put in hundreds of hours into video games. But I've always been of the standpoint that those people are needed. They push developers in a different way. They push them for their games to be approachable, to have broader appeal. Because while challenging mechanics can be good, it's all about finding balance. Sometimes giving the artists a blank canvas and telling them, make whatever you want, isn't going to result in what most would call beautiful art. Sometimes you need a normie, or dare I say it, business type of mindset to come in there and kind of course correct. Remind them to things like, hey, maybe in a map this gigantic, fast travel in a few points is okay. And while it's fun to roast your buddies and tell them to, hey, get good, sometimes you just want to sit back and play a game to relax. And I think what's making Monster Hunter Wilds so popular is they're getting that balance right between challenging while also not anxiety-ridden at all times. And that's why they're hitting this 10 million copies sold mark with pretty big ease. And I wouldn't be surprised in the lifespan of this game if they didn't sell another 10 million copies. Maybe even break the record that Monster Hunter World set for the company. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it, and we'll talk to you again later.